So, check this out, people. Normally, I don't talk about politics, right? The reason why I don't talk about politics is because I'm not into that, right? That's not my thing. I vote just like most Americans, right? Or a lot of Americans. Honestly, I don't know too many people that I grew up with who vote, but I do, right? I vote. And it's come a time now, recently, right, after Trump, that these politics have become really ridiculous, right? Before Trump, politics and politicians were just people trying to get into office, right? But now you have people who are trying to get into office not so that they can make the country better, but make it worse, right? I've been on Facebook a lot recently, something that I never do, and I've been posting more on Facebook. Again, something I never do. I have a few YouTube channels. I have two, actually. And when I post on my YouTube channel, and I don't talk politics, right? But I'm going to talk about that today. The reason why I want to talk about that is because there's this guy named David Aponte, right, who's on Facebook. Cool guy. And he and I disagree on a lot of things, right? He is one of those people who believes that America is racist, right? He's one of those people who believes that America is oppressive and that Donald Trump is making America impossible to live in, right? As if though these people cannot go to the store, cannot go, leave the country and come back or live like everyday Americans. They believe that they are so oppressed that their life has changed, right? Which is crazy to me, right? Because nobody's life during Donald Trump has become difficult. Not the trans community, not the ABC community, right? The gay community, who are constantly claiming that they're unsafe, right? That they can't walk the street, that they can't get a job because places they go to, people don't look like them, right? Because apparently they look like horses or aliens because nobody ever looks like these people, according to them, right? According to them, when they go to their job or when they go to a club or a bar or anywhere in the world, there are people who don't have piercings like them. There are people who don't have blue or purple hair like them. That there aren't people who wear dresses like them, who are gay like them. These people are so oppressed that they hate Donald Trump so much and America so much that they live in a country that the only time you can say, or the only place you can say you hate that country and get away with it, is in the country they live. It's funny because these people feel so oppressed that they won't move to Africa. They won't move to China. They won't move to Japan. They won't move anywhere, right? And talk like this, right? They're not going to do that because they can't. So they do it in the freest country in the world. They do it in a country where they can't wear a dress, where they can abuse children, molest children, and get a slap on the wrist, right? Because that's the issue that I'm having, right? The reason why I voted for Trump, right? Because I didn't vote for him the first time. I didn't believe in none of the things that, there was nothing for me to not believe as far as Trump, right? The only thing that I was believing was what the media and the news was telling me and everyone else, and I found that strange. It kind of scared me that every time I turned on the TV and the radio, they were attacking this man. So I'm saying to myself, that is so strange. This sounds like a country that is pushing propaganda, and that's something that China was doing back during World War II and Nazi Germany, right? They began to do that here, and I started to get scared. So I started to research this man, Trump, right? And I realized that all of the things they were saying about him was a lie. It was a lie because all of the speeches that he had, that he had told or spoke, none of the twists and the nonsense that these progressive, they call themselves progressives, but what they actually are regressive. They're just going back to the caveman era, right? People, you got to excuse me because I'm still dealing with a lot of pain, right? and I'm trying to get through it, right? But, these people, when I started to research and listen to his speeches, I realized that all of the things he was saying was making sense. And why were all of these people attacking this man that was just making sense? And I started to realize that those who were attacking him were the people who were afraid of him. They were afraid of what he was going to do for the country, not to the country, but for it. Because during the Biden administration, we've had open borders, billions and billions of people coming into our country. I'm going to say billions, right? Y'all going to say millions as if though that makes a freaking difference, right? But let's say it like that. Millions of people, illegals, rapists, murderers who came into this country and did whatever the fuck they wanted, right? And it's funny to me how these people like David Aponte believe that America was more safe during the Biden administration than it is today, right? Because if you pay attention to these Democrats, right? These people are so sick, they're so fucking crazy that they believe it's okay for a grown man to put on drag, lipstick, a wig, and a bathing suit showing his balls bulging out, right? And perform drag shows for kindergarteners. Can you believe that? I'm sure you people have heard about this. This isn't new. And to think that America thinks that's okay, and they would vote a man in like Biden who believes that over a man like Trump. Listen, people, the reason why I voted for Trump is because I don't believe in pedophilia. I don't believe that children should be transitioned. I don't believe that children should have their genitals cut off. I don't believe that you should tell a boy that he can bend another boy over and put it in his ass. That is disgusting. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Keep that nonsense to yourself. You're a grown man, fuck with grown men. You're a grown woman, fuck with grown women. Leave the children out of it. And this is why I voted for Trump. This is why I will vote for anyone who is the opposite of these pedophiles. Joe Biden was a pedophile, is a pedophile, right? All you got to do is Google Joe Biden creepy actions towards children, and you're going to see all kinds of nonsense. And I'm not talking about doctored photos or CGI photos, computer generated or AI photos. I'm talking about real photos that were taken by the media and real video, unlike what is being posted about Donald Trump, which the majority of these pictures with him and Jeffrey Epstein and 12-year-old little girls are all AI generated. Because if that actually happened, he'd be in prison right now. Donald Trump would be in prison. And the fact that these pedophile Democrats who believe that children should be transitioned and that grown-ass gay men can dress in drag and perform for children, these people are calling Donald Trump a pedophile, and anyone who voted for him a pedophile when they're the ones who are promoting this nonsense that's filled to children. So David Aponte, I want you to know, and I want to ask you, tell me what is racist about Donald Trump. Tell me what makes him a pedophile, and I'll tell you what makes anyone who voted for Biden a pedophile, anyone who voted for Kamala Harris a pedophile. Because the gayest country in the world was America during that administration. The gayest, the most pathetic, and the most pedophile. I mean, I've never seen this in my life. To hear a politician, a Democratic politician, when they ask him a question, what is it you want to see in America? And the very first thing he says is, I want to see little boys transition. Bro, when I was a boy, when I was a kid, anyone who included children in a sex conversation, they get their ass killed. They get killed. They get their ass beat so bad right there. No one would ever dare to talk that way about children, and to think that today it's okay for politicians to say and for school teachers to teach that it's okay for a little boy 5 years old to bend over another little boy and put it in his ass. And I'm going to say it just like that, so you people could understand how ridiculous this fucking is. And to think that It's okay to have gay men. Listen, it's okay to have gay men teach anybody. It's not okay for him to go there and project his gayness, his homosexuality to children and teach that. Because if I was a grown man and I went to school and I was a porn star and I started teaching children that it's okay for them to be porn stars and to be in pornography, I'd probably go to jail. So why isn't Biden in jail? Why aren't these politicians who talk this way in prison? Why is that okay, David Aponte, for you to vote in a man who believes in these things, who promoted these things, who encourages these things? Does that make sense to you? Because it don't make no sense to me. And so now, for the first time, I'm posting this video on Facebook talking about these things, because every time I go on Facebook, I see nonsense, I see stupidity, and the worst thing that I see are children sexualized by grown-ups who think it's okay for a little girl to get on Facebook, stick out her tongue, and move in a sexual way as if though that was okay. Where the fuck is her mother? Where's her mother that these little girls are sexualizing themselves and little boys just to get a like? A fucking like. Where is your mother? If she's a Democrat, she's probably encouraging that little girl to do that and that little boy to do that. And so this is something that I will never, ever, ever accept. I don't give a fuck who's running for president. Anyone who believes in that, I will vote against him. I will vote for Hitler over Biden, because Biden is a fucking pedophile. Hitler was a murderer. Murderers can go to prison and should die in prison and should hang, if anything, right? People like Hitler, right? And if you believe that, what do you think should happen to a pedophile? What do you think should happen to a man who believes it's okay for a child to transition and encourage it and teach it in school until a little boy who all he wants to eat is cereal, all he wants to do is watch TV and play? That's what children think about. They don't think about bending each other over. That's what adults do. That's what adults encourage. And so, yeah, I voted for Trump, and I'll vote for anyone who teaches the right thing, and I will vote against anyone who wants to disrespect, defile, rape, and molest children like this Democratic Party. And so, yeah, I voted for Obama twice. He's a piece of shit. He did nothing for the country. And so anyone who doesn't believe me, I ask you, what did he do for Americans, black or white? And I'll wait. I will wait as long as, hell, I will wait for as long as I'm alive to see if anyone can tell me what Obama did for America and what Biden did. Because I can tell you what Biden did. All you got to do is look back to open borders, gays in the military. When men and women's bathrooms, including children's bathrooms, how fucking pathetic. Tampons in boys' bathrooms? This is the fucking Democratic Party, bro. This is why I left. This is why I voted Trump. This is why I will no longer fuck with a party who thinks it's okay to rape and molest children. So yeah, David Aponte, I voted for Trump. Now, I ask you, tell me how he's a pedophile. Tell me how he's racist, and break it down the same way I broke down your party. Thank you, people, for watching. Have a good day, and have a good night, and have some respect for your children, ladies. Ladies, it's you who encourage your daughters to go on Facebook and show their ass, to booty pop, and think that's okay. Why? Because if you can't get the clicks you want your daughter to get them, get a fucking life, ladies, because that's dirty. And the fact that it's women who do this, the majority of them are women, not men, is pathetic. It is pathetic, because it's you guys who call men dogs, but it's you guys who put your women, your little girls, on camera and encourage them to do what dogs like. So if a man disrespects your daughter, it's on you. It's on you, because you're teaching your daughter to do exactly what men like. And why don't you do it? How about you, booty pop? Go outside in your nasty dress and with your cleavage, sticking out, thinking that's cool, because you're grown. But don't encourage children to do that. It's pathetic. So David Aponte, come, make your video in response to mine, and let's see where we go from here. Because when we text back and forth and message, it's kind of hard to get the message across correctly. You call Donald Trump a racist. You think that anyone who voted for him is stupid and racist. So I ask you, why did you vote for Biden? Did you vote for Biden because of open borders? That's what you wanted. It's okay for Dominicans to get on a boat and take that boat to Puerto Rico. It's okay for the Cubans to get on a boat and take that boat to Puerto Rico illegally and change the demographic of our people. Are you fucking stupid? Does that make any sense? Because it don't make no sense to me. So anyway, people, what's your opinion? What do you guys think? Because I'm never, ever going to vote for a party who thinks it's okay to disrespect children, to encourage children to transition, to become gay, and all that bullshit. You can't even turn on cartoons these days. Bro, when I was a kid, they would teach kids about nouns, pronouns, adjectives, right? Now, all they want to teach children is pronouns. Nonsense. And the pronouns that they want to teach them is not for their life, right? So that they can learn as they grow, right? So that they can know how to speak properly. Instead, you have grown-ass men telling everyone that if they are, dress with lipstick and a wig, that they're a woman. If that's the truth, then I'm a white woman who's a lesbian, right? I identify as a white lesbian woman who likes women, right? And I guess that's okay, because if I'm a white lesbian woman who likes women, then I have the right to speak to my community, the ABC community, right? Who's fucking up our country and think that it's okay to molest and rape children. Bro, that's pathetic. And that alphabet, the LGBT, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, should be dismantled. These people should be in prison. These people should fucking be lynched. Yes, I'm using the word lynched. And the funny thing about it is that every time people try to protect children, what do? They say that, oh, this is a hate crime. It's a hate crime because he's talking about gay people should be killed. No, gay people shouldn't be killed. Child molesters should have their throats cut. Child molesters should get their ass beat, raped in prison before they get their throats slashed, to see how you like it, to think that's okay. Right? Yeah, people have no respect for women. You have no respect for children, and you think it's cool. It ain't gonna happen. And so, David Aponte, I'll wait for your response.